Hi everybody, this is Harmony with Harmony Stitches, and I want to welcome you back to my channel. Thank you for your subscribes, your likes, your comments. If this is the first time that you stumbled upon my channel, thank you so much for taking some time to visit with me today as we talk about my stitching adventures, whether it's cross stitch, knitting, or crochet. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and jump into this week's activities. We're going to talk about I have no finishes, but we're going to talk about my whips. Last week, I told you that I was struggling for a little while in my recovery from my wisdom teeth. I'm pretty much all the way recovered. I have no pain, and I am back to stitching. So that's really great. And in my wheel spin last week, I got 12 Days of Christmas by Plum Street Sampler, and I was really hoping to get 2 blocks done. So I had block, I gotta look here, there's quite a few. I had block 1 through 8 done, and I was currently working on block 9. So I only had 3.5 blocks to go. So here's block 9. 9 ladies dancing. And then after I got that one done, I saw that block 10, Lords of Leaping, was pretty intense with the color changes because they have crowns, they have a body, they have pants, they have suspender buckles or buttons, and they have shoes. And there's 10 of them. So I'm like, well, I'm going to skip that one. Okay, I'm going to skip that one and do day 11. And then I get to day 11. This is day 11. 11 pipers piping. I don't know if that was any better than the Lords of Leaping. So, but I got it done. Well, I have 4 stitches. 4 stitches. In that little box, that 11, I ran out of gray. Well, I have some extra gray. I didn't have any like little scrap pieces. So I have 3 stitches down here in the corner, and then I have the doorknob to do on the house. Other than that, that's done. And it's the same as block 7. Can I find block 7? The swans are swimming. Each of the 5 little swans have 2 stitches of gray for their beak. And I don't want to use a whole strand and waste. And so what I try to do is if I have scraps, like day 8 had all of the maids of milking. See, I used 1 strand for 3 maids. So then I did, and by the time I got done with them, I did have a little bit of scrap. So I used that, I save all my little scraps. But I didn't have any to finish the swans or the 4 stitches in 11th day. So but I will get to it. Then I said I'm still going to skip day 9, and I'm going to go to day 12. So that's drummers drumming, right? And it took me past my bedtime last night, but I got day 10 done, or day 12. So there's 12 drums, 11 sets of drumsticks, a crown, and then it says 12th day. And I got that done. And then usually Saturday night, I quit working on that week's project and I do my wheel spin. But usually when I don't have to go to church, I'll film these videos earlier in the morning, but today I had to go to church, so I haven't done my wheel spin yet. And my time, let's see, it's 12:40 p.m. my time right now, so I haven't done a wheel spin. So I said, okay, so before church, I started working on day 9. I finally started it, and this is how much I have. So far I have almost all the top border and the right border. I did 2 snowflakes, and I started on the Lords of Leaping. But you see how he has a torso and pants, but he still is going to have a crown, buttons, and shoes all in gray. So I know that I'm going to have scraps left over to be able to go back and do the other stitches that I need to do, and that was my plan all along. So my plan for this week is we're going to do a wheel spin together here in a couple of minutes. But my plan is to continue working on this because I'm a day and a half, 2 days away from getting this project finished and off my wheel. So that is what I'm going to do. Okay? And then the next project is a knitting project. Yesterday, as a family, we went antiquing again. We actually were shopping local on our way out. We felt a little hungry, so we said, let's go to the marketplace and get some lunch. And in the marketplace, there's a yarn shop, so we'll talk about that later. But I figured, okay, we're going to be in the car for a little bit, and I really have this project that's kind of my project, but it's for someone else, and it's their yarn. So I figured I would pick this up and make it my car knitting, and I've been thinking about doing that for a while, but the only time that I'm not driving is when, one, I have to supervise my teenage driver, so I have to have my eyes on the road, or two, when we go grocery shopping with my husband and I go grocery shopping, but we do that so early on Saturday mornings that it's still dark out. I know, it's crazy. But we left while it was light outside Saturday, so I took this out, and this is a photo shoot prop, and it's meant to wrap newborn babies in and swaddle them up. So it's a baby wrap. Of course, the colors are not going to show up well because it is blue. I don't know. Oh, that's pretty good, but there's more blues in there that are just not coming out on screen. But it's all different shades of like blue, and it has some teal, it has some purple. There's 2 skeins of it. I found a cable connector in the bottom of my bag, so that's interesting. But I am this far from finishing the first skein. This is leftover from the baby cardigan that I made for my coworker Leslie. Her oldest daughter was getting married and needed a sweater for her grandchild. So I said, why don't I go ahead and use the rest of that yarn to make you a baby wrap for your photography studio? And she said, okay. So I have 3 stitches of garter stitch on either side. I put a couple rows of garter on the bottom because she said usually when you get these baby wraps, they're straight stockinette and the edges will roll. And they are rolling now, but once you block it out, it won't do that. So the white stitch marker is where I started yesterday morning, and look at all of those rows. It's like 22 rows that I got done. And if you take a look at what I have done completely, I almost doubled it or added a third to it, and I have this much on the first skein, this much on the second skein. So I'm hoping that it gets to the length that it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be 60 inches. Even if it doesn't get that far, I'm thinking that when we block it out, then we'll be able to maybe stretch it a little bit, the yarn might grow a little bit, and it'll be good to go. So that's what I'm going to be working on in the car. So we have to go back and get a couple more groceries this afternoon, so I'll be able to get a couple more rows on it today. But while I'm in the car with my husband, I'll be able to work on that a little bit. So hopefully we'll see a finish on that soon, because we were, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half. Okay, well, that was whips. Like I said, I don't have any finishes. Now I have a couple of purchases, and then we'll get on to the wheel spin. The last couple of weeks, when I showed you my purchases and I got all of that DMC on sale, there was 1 skein that was out both times. My husband had to run to Walmart yesterday after work. He had to pop in for a little bit, and I said, hey, while you're there, why don't you check to see if they carry this color? It's $38.20. It's a golden color, golden mustard. They had one. All I needed was 1, but the other store was out all, like, for a month. So, and then jumping back to the shopping local, the marketplace has a yarn shop in it. It has several food eateries. It has some other things. And so when I go there to support local, I get hand-dyed yarn from the shop owner. And this one, I feel like is almost supporting double local, because I bought it from the local yarn shop, but it's also from a local dyer. It's Supernova Dyeworks from Lansing, Michigan. I'm from Michigan, so they're only about an hour from me. This is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and I just loved the purples and the greens in this. I love this light color too. So I loved that one. And I don't know if she's still Supernova or if she was something else before. I have a feeling that I heard that her name changed, but I can't remember. If I can find any information out about Supernova, Dyeworks, I will definitely post that in the description box below. So that way you can go check it out, especially if you're Michigander like I am, you can support local dyers. The next one is Dream in Color. And I bought one of theirs a couple videos ago for a shawl. So it's Dream in Color. And this one is 70% superwash merino, 20% cashmere. I did not know that when I bought it. That's luxurious. And 10% nylon. This is 4 ounces and it's 400 yards. This is kind of like the other one minus the green. So it's got some really, really dark, what is that? It's blue. It looks black, but it's really dark blue, some purple, some speckles, some gray down here at the bottom. So I'm really excited to see what that cakes up like. And I know, like cashmere, I was thinking I was making socks with this, but with the cashmere, I might not. I don't know. Have you guys ever used a yarn that had cashmere in the blend for socks? If not, what did you use it for? A shawl, a hat, scarf? What did you use it for? Let me know, because I didn't realize it had cashmere in it when I bought it, which I'm not complaining. But I'll definitely make socks out of it if people think that that's acceptable. So, but I thought those two were pretty. Actually, there were so many pretty ones. I just don't have the money for all of them. So I left with these ones. And like I said, I'm excited to see what they look like knit up. Next time I will get a different one. Okay, so now it's time for wheel spin. Let me find my app. We don't have very many left. But like I said, I'm going to focus on getting the 12 Days of Christmas done because I am so close to finishing it. I just have a couple of stitches in gray on those other blocks and then finish block 9 and I'll be done. So this wheel spin will be for what I work on after that's completed. So I'll only get a couple days on it. I won't get a full week like I normally do, but it's okay. And for those of you that are new with me, I use a decision wheel app to choose my focus piece for the week. Usually I have been working on Pandemic, but I kind of let that go for the last month since I had my wisdom teeth out because I kind of lost, I was suffering during my recovery and I just didn't stitch on anything for about a week and a half. I will pick that back up eventually, but I think I want to get this whip piled down a little bit more and just focus on these and then pick it back up. I know I'll still be able to get it done by the end of the year because I know that I can focus on it and get it done. So we'll do this wheel spin and see what my other focus piece will be. There's only 6 left on here. However, remember, the little Halloween Quaker actually didn't get worked on. And for some reason it's not on. I hid the slice from here so it won't come back up again. So when all of these are finished, I will pick that back up because I don't know how to get it to show back up on the wheel. I haven't gotten that far. So we will spin the wheel. Let's see if I can get it on there so you can see it. I have to have it on an angle, otherwise it'll blow out. Beatitudes. And look at 12 Days of Christmas is still on there. It's not supposed to be on there. Okay, I'll work on Beatitudes. I actually had that one on my frame that Pandemic is on, but I'll see if I can just work on it in hand instead. It's a little bit larger of a piece, but I'll figure it out and then I'll show you what I got done. And if you remember correctly from my whip parade in video number 1 in January, I had made a mistake and it was in timeout. So I'm gonna start by ripping out that mistake and then I'll go from there and see how much I can get done in a week. The only other thing that I have to talk to you about is I joined a Knit-A-Thon. I've never participated in a Knit-A-Thon before, but it came up in my Instagram news feed. The designer Laura Nelkin is sponsoring it or organizing it, whatever you want to call it. Her initial goal was $10,000, and it's the last time I checked earlier today, it was at $31,000, and the new goal was $40,000. What this Knit-A-Thon is going to support is 4 charities. Let me look it up so that way I'm accurate in telling you. Oh, it got stuck. Okay, so the Knit-A-Thon is a fundraiser for Feeding America, World Central Kitchen, No Kid Hungry, and Meals on Wheels. And so I'll give you just a tiny bit of my backstory. As a child growing up, there were certain times in my life where our family was food insecure. And that means that we didn't necessarily have access to healthy foods or food in general. There were times where my siblings and I didn't know if we were going to be able to have a meal for dinner. So what that means for children is a lot of things, and it's really hard to go into because I know that some children were a lot worse off than me, but I've learned a lot about it from the position that I hold at work. But what it meant for me and my siblings is that we did not like breaks from school. Spring break, winter break, summer vacation. It was hard because we were able to get meals twice a day at school, but when we were at home, we got nothing. Some of the stories that I've heard about the food insecure children in our county is that they actually save half of their lunch and they hide it in their backpack so they can have dinner. And that is so devastating. It actually makes me really upset, and I want to cry about it because no child should go hungry. They are so innocent, and they can't fend for themselves. We should be fending for them. So that's why I joined this Knit-A-Thon. If you have it in your heart, if you feel moved to do so, no obligation. I'm going to post my link below so you can, if you want to, you can be a supporter of mine and join the campaign to help feed families. I started to look up the organizations this morning before church. I only had time to look up Feeding America. I haven't looked up the other ones yet, but a couple of things that I found about Feeding America is not only are they trying to help families in poverty, or some families aren't even in poverty, they're called working poor, with food necessities. They're actually trying to break the cycle of poverty so that way the next generation doesn't suffer with this problem. So I really do think that that's awesome. They work with over 200 food banks across the nation, and they're the largest organization of its type in our country. They've given 400 million meals, I think, last year. I may be wrong on that, but I encourage you to look it up. Just Google Feeding America. Maybe I'll post the link below if I can remember. I'll post the links for all of these organizations. Feel free to research. Like I said, if you are any way inclined to partner with me and donate to my share of the campaign, please do so. I'll post a link below. I would be forever grateful if you joined in fighting something that is close to me because I dealt with it when I was a child. So I want to help other children too. Other than that, that is all I have for this week. I know it was a little bit on the shorter side, but since I was focusing so hard on 12 Days of Christmas, I really didn't do anything else. But a finish is a finish, and I'm hoping to be able to show you one next week. Maybe 2 if I can get to knitting. I don't know because I don't know how much I'll be in the car with my husband. But other than that, have a great week. Have fun stitching, no matter what project you're working on, knitting, crochet, or cross stitch. And I will see you next week. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.